in the upcoming NBA draft. Lamelo Ball has been consistently ranked in the top 3 prospects of this year's draft and is now projected to go #1 overall in this morning's latest mock draft. So, Shannon, should the Wolves take Lamelo Ball?
That's the question, Skip. They moved heaven and earth to get D'Angelo Russell. They have Karl Anthony Towns. They have Andrew Wiggins. Melo is 6'7", can pass the ball, is very creative. The thing is, that shot is unorthodox like his brother Lonzo. Beating people off the dribble, and what's the unknown, Skip? They've only seen him for 12 games. Now, he's relatively, 19 years of age. I think he turns 19 in a couple of days.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, Skip, all the top picks, you look at Anthony Edwards, he's a guard. Obi Toppin, the forward, he was player of the year this year. I think he's a 3. And then James Wiseman, 7'1", averaged 19 and 10 before he was declared ineligible.
Yep.
Could Lamelo and D'Angelo play together? That's the question, Skip. That really is. That's what it comes down to. It's not about, oh, man, he's good, he can do that. Can they play together? Because you gave up and you have this guy, he's on a max contract. D. Russell's on a max contract. Anthony Towns is about to get a max contract. So somebody's willing to move. If somebody wants Lamelo for that #1 pick, Skip, and I can get me somebody, I would move it. But if I got to stay there, I probably would take it.
I'm taking him. I don't know what it is about me and these ball kids, but I'm taking it. My first thought was, how would Lamelo like winter in Minneapolis? And then it dawned on me, he spent a winter in Lithuania.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
He spent a high school winter in Ohio, which is not quite Minneapolis, but it's not great. Right? So he's been around, man.
It's not Chino Hills, California.
No, it's not Chino Hills. So he does turn 19 tomorrow, and his father insists he's still growing, and I don't doubt that he is.
Right.
His father predicted to me 3 years ago he'll be 6'8".
Yeah. 6'7" right now.
He's 6'7". I will not be surprised if he winds up 6'8". And yet, to your point, like brother, I don't get it. They both have a broken shot. Again, Lonzo was getting close to fixing his shot. I thought he'd fixed it before the pandemic hit, and then he went to the bubble and he burst his bubble, right?
Yeah.
This shot is horrible. This one looks maybe even worse than Lonzo's, because it's a two-handed push shot, jump shot, and I know it's a small sample size, you point out, 12 games in Australia. It's pro basketball, and it's pretty high level.
Yeah.
He shot 25% from 3. He shot only 72% from the free throw line. A little better than Lonzo has, but still not for a point guard.
Right.
Your point guard's got to make.
They need to be 80,
85, 90.
At least they got to be. They got to be 80%.
Yeah. So it's a broken shot, and it was just eating me up. I was watching the video of it last night, and I was thinking, how could LeVar have let this happen to both his kids?
You know what I think it happened, Skip? Is that you want a kid to shoot from distance, and he's not strong enough to shoot it with one hand.
Yeah.
He has to use both of the hands, and that's what ends up happening.
And so he falls into that habit, and it's a bad habit. And then you grow up to 6'7", you don't need to be two-hand pushing the ball from the three-point line. And it doesn't work anymore.
No.
You can't guide the basketball directly the way you need to. It's a one-handed shot, obviously. And now you're going to have to fight with him and his psychological demons. You know what happened to Markelle Fultz? He's just now coming out of all his shot issues,
But Skip, the thing is that when you take a guy #1 overall, you shouldn't have to worry about all of this. And I think that was one of the things that hurt Markelle Fultz. You know, everybody kept talking about his shot. Well, if that's the case, he plays basketball. The shot is the most important thing. And you talk about you want to correct it, you want to pitch. Skip, you know, it's like taking a picture. I would love to take him #1 overall if he could just control that fast. What? He's going to be throwing. He has to throw the baseball. He's going to have to shoot the basketball, and you're going to have to correct this. And so for me, that's one of the issues, the shot. And can he play with D'Angelo Russell? Because D'Angelo Russell, Skip, he's a point, but he's more of a 2.
I totally agree. He's a 2 to me. So I say yes, he can, because this kid can handle the basketball. Yes. It's like magical how he can handle it. You remember Pete Maravich? It reminds it's Maravichian to me. For the kids won't know Pete Maravich, but you watch those tapes and highlights if you would. But this kid has the gift. He can pass it. He can create in the lane in just crazy ways. He can make up shots. He's a better scorer than Lonzo is.
Yeah. He's more offensive-minded than Lonzo.
He's more offensive-minded.
But defense, he ain't playing no defense.
But he will steal the ball because he averaged 2 steals. So he's one of those disruptors where he'll anticipate your pass and get a handle.
He's long,
kind of like Lonzo does. So they're, again, like brother, but he's so gifted at what he does that I would do it. He seems like a good kid, but they're all good.
Right.
They got raised right. In a way where they're solid. Their cores are solid. They're solid citizens. They're good kids. They have credibility to me as long-term investments for a franchise.
Right.
But I mean, this kid's full of himself. Now he thinks nobody's ever stopped him. You know, okay, that's fine. I'm good with that. But the point is that I don't know if you can pass up the gifts.
Right.
If you're thinking about one, like Anthony Edwards, I've watched him a number of times. He never just took me over.
Right.
He never just grabbed my eyes and wouldn't let go. And he's about 6'3". Is he rare? No, he's not rare.
No.
You know, James Wiseman, I only saw him one time because he didn't last very long because you just point out.
He could be rare, Skip. 6'7", can do it. But you got Cat.
You got Cat. This kid's 7'1", left-handed, but athletic.
Yes.
And he's got some physicality. He's got stature. He's got a good, he's getting his man body.
Do you like Obi Toppin?
I'm intrigued. Maybe. I mean, the highlights I see him, he can
score it. But you got Andrew Wiggins.
Yep.
So what are you going to do with him? They got a lot of nice young pieces. But I believe they need a veteran, but this is the draft, but I don't believe they pass him up. I mean, somebody might fall in love with the Knicks. How about y'all give up some of the pro Knicks? I feel bad for them. No,
well, we're about to discuss those Knicks.
I mean, but the thing is that at 6'7", he's creative. Can he play with your two-headed monster?
Sure.
Because you're trying to create a 3-headed monster. Because you're trying. The West is tough. The West isn't getting easier.
No.
And Minnesota hadn't.
See Phoenix.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Phoenix is coming.
Oof.
And Skip, I believe that's one of the reasons why they traded T.J. Warren, because they want Booker to be the show, and